And what about Termite? What was his affiliation with South Bay Arms?
Termite was just a guy that we made parts for.
Mm-hmm.
We did some of his pumps for his guns.
Yeah.
We did some of the barrels for his guns. But during those days, there were no threaded barrels. They were all unitized barrels that the slots would mill right into the barrels. This has got Tim Stone's grip on it, but the receiver is actually a competitor of mine. It's an NW receiver.
For the grip frame.
But this is a Termite gun.
How many do you think you made before you switched from the standard Nelson compatible back bottle valves to your style valves, where they would slip inside of the body?
Well, the comps it was always like that. They would slip inside the body. I turned all those down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was buying, like I say, I was buying these BBAs from Tasso, and then turning them down to go inside of my guns.
Yeah.
That's before, because we used to have them straight out of the back of the gun originally.
Yeah.
And then everybody wanted to go to the bent valve.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But Termite was just making guns. Jerry Yandell was basically the guy that was shooting termites. And then when he came to meet me,
and he was someone who
he was one of those guys,
guys.
Mercenaries.
Yeah.
And he was he was older than most of us. Well, he was shooting these guns, and Termite was a good friend of his. And then when he met me, because the Termite guns are all unitized barrels, where the bore and hammer comes together is a single unit. There's no screw-in barrels whatsoever. And my Buzzards, and the reason I made the Buzzard is this guy Jay that you're talking about. He was a fireman, and he died from a heart attack at the paintball field up at the Quest, right below Pepperdine University. And out of respect for him, I took the Termite line, which was these, switched it over and started making Buzzards that had the side rail with the 4 or 5 dimples in the side, which is like that gun there. And I made it California Buzzards in respect to this guy passing away in the field, and that's where the Buzzard comes from, in respect for Jay, because that's what his paintball nickname was. And Senior thought, man, Earon, that's pretty cool, but you doing that. And next thing you know, he had me build him guns, and he went from Buzzards to Comps and Buzzards and everything. And that's all it all happened. Termite guns, they had all those, the McGuffick bolt and hammers in them.
Yeah, that one has Howdy bolts also. So when I was talking to Kevin Donaldson, one thing that he said was you guys were making Termites and you were making Buzzards, and you were actually making them at the same time, but really one of the main differences for the early guns was who they went to. They went to ABC, they were a Buzzard. ABC Paintball in New Jersey, if they were sold by ABC, they were a Buzzard. If they went to Kevin Donaldson, who sold them at Action Sports Outfitters, then they would be a Termite.
Now, Termites and Buzzards
there are significant differences.
Yeah, there is definitely a significant. And most of the Termites, the top of the pump was flat. They had a flat cut on the top of the pumps right here.
Does that one have it too?
It doesn't appear to, but most of them did. And the Buzzards never had anything but aluminum pumps. They didn't have Delrin pumps at all.
Oh, and this one has Lapco Delrin spacers inside of it too. And it has a Lapco sight rail. And like you were saying that the gap in the sight rail, or the gap in the feed block, which would allow it to convert,
and then another thing here, there's no, I don't see no return spring on the gun.
Well, on this one, the return spring is concealed, so it could be the same thing on that one.
Inside here, yeah.
Exactly.
There used to be there was a Delrin stop on that thing.
There is inside of there. So that's not something you ever did. Yeah. That was a Termite.
Correct.
But you were still making parts for Termite?
Definitely.
So regardless whether it was a Termite or a Buzzard, you definitely had your hand in it.
Definitely.